Hi, it's Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, number 102, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about what do you do if you're trying to learn how to sing higher, but the exercises are too high to do. That's pretty tough, isn't it? So, welcome everyone. It's a beautiful fall day in the lovely state of Utah in the United States. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. We've been a little bit cold. We've had some snow already in the mountains, which we need. And today it's just beautiful blue sky, crisp air, and a beautiful fall afternoon. So we're going to be discussing how do you learn to sing higher if the exercises are too high. So I'm going to show you how we do that today. Anyway, I wanted to say hi to those of you who are here already. W or YT losers. Hey, nice to have you here. Hiya. Anti Tio Toivola. Hi from LA. Great to have you here today, Auntie. YT Loser, South Dakota. So you know what cold is all about on the great upper plains of the United States. Love South Dakota. Been there several times. Hey, Mike, nice to have you here. Biddy4, hello. And hi to Stratus. Stratus, nice to have you here. I don't recognize your handle, Stratus. Are you new with us? If so, that's great to have you. And if not, it's nice to have you back. Indiana. All right. Cool. So, I'm going to actually show you how to do some exercises that might at first appear to be too high. And, but I really get this. This is really an interesting thought. And this is somebody gave me this comment on YouTube this week. So YT Luch says, we invented cold. Yes. Yeah, definitely. It can get so cold in the Dakotas. Man, oh man. Explainable vibrato. Unexplainable vibrato. Hey, that's an interesting handle. Nice to have you from Miami. Oh, wow. Well, you guys kind of missed the bullet this year, right? With Michael going up to the Gulf Panhandle. Tough times down in North Florida, huh? So glad you guys were okay down there. Marty, hey, Marty, nice to have you. Now we're talking cold, right? I love YouTube notifications. Otherwise, I would be oblivious. Great. Thank you, Marty, for anyone who might join later on. If you want a YouTube notification, just subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell that tells you for notifications. Antti Toivola. Really, I'm from Finland. Oh, now we're getting into serious cold. Jared. Hey, Jared. Jared Altair. Hey. George, hey, George, nice to have you with us today. Just received yesterday a good compliment on my voice. Awesome. The Metro Museum of Modern Arts administrator. Well, thank you. I'm hopeful that we contributed in some way. Thank you, George. Hey, Stratus. All right, so cool. Nice to have you. Stratus says he is new here. And Jared from Houston. Well, Houston knows, for those of you who don't know what humidity is, just talk to Jared out there, because they live in one of the most humid places in the world. Much love. Thank you for everything you do for us. Well, thank you, Jared. Okay, so it's top of the hour, so I just want to welcome those of you who are joining us now. We've been kind of in a pre-show saying hi to everybody that's here early. And welcome to Power to Sing Live, number 102. Today we're going to talk about how do you learn to sing higher if the exercises are too high, right? So what happens if you want to learn to get your voice to do certain thing, and the exercises they give you, and I do that, I give you exercises to help you get to sing higher, are already too high. Now what do you do? That's a really good, that's a really valid question. And so we're going to talk about today, not only talk about it, but I'm going to show you what to do so you can get through these exercises. You know, I think it's kind of like going, I remember years ago, I interviewed for a job, and it was a good job. And I was quite qualified, I thought, and I got down to the final ride a day in the field. I was interviewing for a medical sales position where I would sell medical devices. And it was from a major medical company. And they liked me, and they invited me to ride with one of their sales representatives. They came down to two of us. And so they decided on the other person. Why? Because that person had experience. Well, it's really hard to get experience if you don't get hired, right? How do you get experience if they're not going to hire you to get experience? So, anyway, how do you sing higher if you can't do the exercises to help you sing higher? Same kind of thing. We're going to talk about that today, and all of your singing higher problems are going to be solved. Unexplainable vibrato. Finally, I'm able to watch your video live because I've wanted to see you live. See your live video. Well, awesome. I'm glad you're here. Unexplainable, you were in Miami. Cool. I've golfed on the, what is it called? The Blue Monster there. Doral. Loved Doral. Been there several times. In the olden days when I worked for a small little company called Johnson & Johnson. Okay, Harmony Life, thank you for your precious advice and videos. Harmony, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Yugo Chukwu Wilson. All right, Yugo Chukwu. How can someone sing very high without cracking or straining? You know what? I think that's going to be answered today, at least in part. And if it's not, we'll come back to it. Okay, so maybe we should get right down to the fun of this thing. So essentially, I'm pretty much going to guarantee you that this works. Those of you who may be here for the first time or coming, after this has been recorded and banked in YouTube, and you're looking and you come across the topic, the subject of this live video, I'm going to tell you right now, this works because I went through this myself. For those of you who don't know, there was a day in my let me just put it this way. For 43 years, I could not sing above the E, above middle C. That was the end of my life. That's how I had to do it. I kind of had to yell it, and it wasn't always on pitch. It was just the top, and I thought that was the end, the ceiling in my voice. But I found out that that was not true. There was something else above that, which first of all, I didn't know it was there, but secondly, once I found out it was there, I didn't believe that I could really sing up there. And even if I could vocalize up there, I didn't think I would be able to sing up there. I'm going to show you today how I did that with exercises that are designed to help you do it, okay? So what's my opinion about belting? Auntie Toevola asks. And belting is an interesting word. Some people use the word belting to describe kind of like yelling up the chest voice and straining and reaching. And I'm not for it at all. I don't, not only am I not in favor of it, I don't think it sounds good, and I do know it will damage your voice. There are many singers who have had to have surgery on their vocal cords to remove polyps and nodules and for hemorrhages and things because of belting, of that kind of belting. There's other kinds of, there are other definitions of belting. Some schools, there's a university in my state here that actually teaches belt, and it's a high larynx exercise, or it's a high larynx technique, and I think it works. I don't necessarily like the sound as I'm listening to it, as the evening wears on. At first it's kind of impressive, and then after a while I realize it sounds the same every single time. So I think there are limitations to it because it is a high larynx. There are some overtones in the voice that are left out of the voice. So they're not using the full mechanism of the vocal cords because the larynx is high and the vowels are more open or more on the wide side of vowels. So you get a bright, brassy kind of sound, but I have found that a lot of singers lack the ability to find a middle in terms of the volume. So they have a hard time going from loud to medium to soft and soft to medium to loud. So there's some control issues that I find that exist in that kind of a belt. So overall, I think it's not an awful thing if it's done correctly, but I don't think it's optimal. Okay, so let's talk about how do you sing higher if the exercises are too high to sing? And that was a question that was given to me this week on my YouTube channel. And I think he was talking about exercises that I had given for mix, some exercises to get a guy's voice into mix really quickly. Now, ladies, the same principle applies. For guys, it's like we're at the top of our voice. Ladies always know that there's more above and that they can always go into falsetto. But like you could put it this way, how do you learn to sing higher without going into falsetto if you have to go into falsetto to do that? So we could actually kind of frame it that way for the women. So if you go to my website and you look at powertosing.com and you take the power test, which is a vocal test, it gives you your vocal type. You can email in your test, and you can get back a series of questions that help you define your vocal type. One of those vocal types is pulled chest, high larynx, which is very common. It's what I tend to do when I sing higher, and for about 90% of the world, it seems to be the same. So I have exercises that I demonstrate in the Knowledge Center on powertosing.com, and I explain what the vocal type is. I give exercises that help counteract the particular problems of that vocal type, and then you can download the exercise. Well, those exercises immediately take you right to the place where I couldn't sing, right? So for a guy, it would be G to D, E flat, that's where I had to, I could sing that, yeah, but that was like it. Any further and I would just crack. I would break, or I'd have to yell, or you have to do some other funny thing like what's called cover. I didn't do that one. I did more of you know what I did? I just stopped. I wouldn't continue. I knew it sounded bad, so I wouldn't sing an F. I just let the tenors do it. And if there was a show and the character, this happened to me. I was going to audition. I wanted to audition for Billy Bigelow in Carousel, but he lands on it. He has a big soliloquy and he lands on the F. I didn't try out for it because it was a tenor note. So I know what you're talking about when you say, the exercises are too high to sing. Okay, here's the secret. Now, before I give you the secret, let me just say hi to a few other people who have joined us here. Mike says that was me. He said it was his belting. No soft volume, only loud. Yeah. Antti Tiavoli, thanks for the info. Hope that helped. YT Loser, my results pretty much told me that I'm screwed. Explainable unexplainable vibrato. What if you always have something on throw like a cold? How to take it off? Not sure I understand. How do I explain my range? I take voice lessons. My teacher says that I am the most tense person he's ever seen. I strain when I hit an E, and I'm auditioning for a tenor role in a month. So Stratus, there's a way to get through the E, and I'm going to show you that today. Okay. The E is not the top of your voice. The E is the beginning of your bridge. And so these exercises, just for those of you who want to know, the Dow just went up 550 points or something. Anyway, that's the Dow Jones Industrial Average for those of you who are not in the country. I guess I need to take those things off while I'm doing live broadcasts. Anyway, so that E is the beginning of something called a bridge. What should happen at the E is not that we stop or that we strain or we reach, which I did, is that we begin to transition from chest voice, the low voice, through this middle zone in the voice to our upper voice, which is called head voice. And so it's a passageway. The problem, Stratus, you have right now is number one, you don't know it's possible. And I need to tell you it is possible. And number two, even if you know it's possible, you don't know how to do it. So let me explain today that it is possible to be able to sing through this bridge. Now, I'm a bass. That's the low E, and I'm not hitting it today. But I can sing through that E now, Stratus, and I couldn't do that until about 21 years ago. Now that's the high A. And if you had told me when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, whatever, all the way up to 43 years old, that someday I could sing an A and even do it in a show, I do musical theater, I would have not believed you, simply not believed you. All right, so here are some exercises to get you I'm going to show you some of the exercises that help you bridge. These are the exercises that I think the person was talking about. The first exercise is called bubble lips. So you put your fingers here, you press in on your cheeks, and you just do this. And I think it's helpful to kind of do it kind of stupid. But any way you do it, make sure your lips are kind of slow and floppy. And not too tight. You're saying nice relax then you put a bubble in front of Now if you do that as I demonstrate, you can watch what happens. So I went to the high A. I'm ahead of myself. I thought I was going to the A flat. Now, you notice that when I did that, if you didn't notice, I did not break. I did not break into falsetto. And then disconnect and have the tone break inside. So I want to keep hold of that tone so that it doesn't disconnect. And for the ladies, that same thing happens, starts to begin at the A above middle C. A, B flat, B, C. See, you're all the way, pretty much all the way through it. So, same principle there. You don't want to let it crack or break. Now, if you can't do the bubble lip without it cracking or breaking, then you might try doing the same thing, but just bend down and look at the floor when you're doing it. So you're bent over about 90 degrees, about halfway, 90 degrees, and looking at the floor while you're doing the exercise, and doing it as I've demonstrated, and that's going to help you get through that area without cracking or breaking. Now that you've gotten through there, you start to realize, wait a minute, I can vocalize through that area of my voice. I'd be curious, Stratus, if you try this. I would try it right now. Now, if another way of doing it is with a lip trill. Sorry, a tongue trill. That's the A flat. That takes you all the way through the first bridge and approaching the second bridge. There's another bridge. There are multiple bridges. About every tritone, there's another bridge. And so, but we're worried about the first bridge. For the guys, basically, most of us, it's E, F, F sharp. For the girls, for most of the girls, it's A, B flat, B, and the high C. Here's middle C, here's high C. So A, B flat, B, C. And then C sharp, you're through it. Now, so that's the first indication that, hey, in fact, you can get through that. You can do it higher than you think you can. Okay, so let me just get a couple comments here. So Stratus says, how do I expand my strain when I hit an E? I'm auditioning for tenor. Okay, we read that. Hey, Rob. Rob Pappin, hello. Nice to have you here. And let me see. A comment here from Hugo Chuck Woo Wilson. Must a singer know how to play an instrument? No. It helps, though. It helps to be able to, it helps your musicianship to be able to do that. And it will help you read music, it will help you develop your ear, and it will help you learn to sing faster, I think. So you don't have to. I have friends who don't play instruments and they don't even read music, and they're able to learn the music and so forth, but I think they feel a little bit insecure about it, and sometimes it takes them a little bit longer. But you don't have to know how to do an instrument, how to play an instrument to sing. Messi Goat Milan. I miss the days of when I sang up to the G5, but my issue is getting the mix as a flip falsetto. That's the real issue. And my range goal is getting a range like E2 to B5, hopefully into the 6th octave. That's pretty heavy duty. If you're down to E2, the B4, I could do a B4, but I don't. B5 is like up here, and into the 6th octave. Heavy-duty soprano area. So those are quite the goals. And I'm guessing if you can sing that low, Messi, you got to be a guy. No, but it really helps to it makes writing music a lot easier. Okay, so he's answering the thing on the piano. Yeah, if you're going to, particularly if you do want to be a singer-songwriter, I would say you do need an instrument, either keyboard or guitar. either one of those would be good choices. Messy says, always break in the falsetto when I do that exercise. Yeah, so Masi, I think in your case, I might want to can you do the tongue trill? Because if you cover the tongue trill with your lips, that helps keep the larynx down also. So that way you can go through that easier. You can get through that a little bit easier because it's holding the larynx down really well with that tongue trill, with the lips covering the tongue trill. But if you have trouble and you can't do it, then let me give you this idea here. Goo, 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 goo. I said goo, 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 but I'm doing it a little bit on the dopey side, okay? So this is another exercise to help you who can't sing the high exercises to do this one. Goo, 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 goo. Sorry, goo, 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 goo. So if the larynx stays down, I stay a little bit hooty, woo, woo, but I'm not saying goo, 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 goo. I'm not cracking. Goo, 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 goo. Now these things are all possible because they were impossible for me at one time, and now they are. Now they work. Now here's another one we haven't covered yet. Let me just check in a couple other questions here. Okay, about breaking in the falsetto. I always break in the falsetto. Let me see. Was that Messy that said that? Okay. So Messy, here's another option for all of you who still can't do any of these when you're doing these higher exercises. Why do we do them here? We do them to connect chest through the bridge and into your head voice. So we do it to connect the low to the high, so that you're not singing along and have a break in the voice. Okay, so let me demonstrate it for the girls. So I've been kind of heavy on the men participation today. Nay, 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 nay. So that little bit, kind of a witchy kind of nay, nay, nay. You exaggerate that kind of funny sound. Nay, 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 nay. So for us guys down here in our register for this first bridge, nay, 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 nay. Now the first time you do it, you might have to go really, really witchy. Nay, 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 nay. It's exaggerated. The larynx is a little up. It's a high larynx exercise. We only do this temporarily until we connect it. Nay, 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 nay. No, 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 no. So we can get rid of the bratty sound once we get the security of that connected tone with that witchy, bratty nay sound. So if I said nay, 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 nay. Now the reason why a lot of people can't do the exercises, these higher exercises, is because they're not using this exaggerated sound. This exaggerated nay, nay, nay will reduce the presence of the chest. The chest voice it takes the heaviness of chest out. It's lighter than the chest. Nay, 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 nay. But what they'll do wrong is they'll say nay, 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 and then you'll crack and break and strain and reach. So you don't want to do that. You use this exaggerated, kind of funny sound at first. Nay, 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 nay. Notice what I'm doing with the volume. I'm singing it medium to medium soft. Don't do it loud. It's really, really hard to do these if you're doing these exercises loud. Okay, so Messi, I would try that. I would hopefully you've got some exercises you can do to get through this bridge, E, F, F sharp, without cracking and breaking. Ladies, same thing with you guys. These all apply, all these principles apply to the upper range. All of those notes, same way. Medium soft, medium to medium soft. And on that nay, 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 stay really, really exaggerated, okay? Until you get it down. Okay. So unexplainable verbs. I mean, always have a cold in my throat. I don't know how to get rid of it when I sing high or low. You know, it's troubling, isn't it? When there's always an allergy going on in our voices, or we always have some kind of reflux, or you know, it's a tough one. So I would, you know, the only advice I can give is get plenty of sleep, drink lots of fluids, get yourself healthy. I take medication for reflux. I need to do better at just, you know, stop eating before 7 o'clock in the evening and 3 hours before I go to bed or something. That would help, I'm sure. But we have to work through it. I have a friend in theater, he says, embrace the phlegm. Well, we can do that in our practices, but, you know, when you're going to perform, you know, you can only do what you can do. Stratcat, hey, nice to have you. Stratcat Blue, hi. Singing higher and more belting power without breaking into the falsetto can happen when exercising in twang. Okay, thanks. I don't know what twang is. I don't use the terminology, so I can't really illustrate that, but thank you for sharing that. UFO Combat, your perfect hearing. How to learn to pick melodies of songs. How to learn to pick melodies of songs. You know, I think that one of the things that can help all of us a lot is to listen and sing along with the recordings as much as we can. I think that's a great way to train ourselves to learn the melodies of the songs and do it more and more as much as we can. Wilson says, talk more on vibrato and balancing it properly. It's kind of outside of the topic here. I might come back to that, Wilson. Okay, so Meadow Fozzie. Oh my gosh, I am sorry I'm late. It's 10:22 p.m. Whatever you actually deserve every minute. Thank you, Meadow. That's very kind of you. But I had a question, which is how to sing with confidence. So I was in a meeting one time with Mr. Seth Riggs, and he said, if it's easy to do, then we do it with confidence. And that was a real simple way of saying these things that I'm teaching will help your confidence grow, because it will get easier and easier for you to do these things, easier and easier for you to hit the high notes, easier and easier to hold them out, easier and easier to, you know, develop this, you know, great tone quality and so forth. And as this becomes easier, your confidence naturally grows. That's what's happened to me. At first, I was very tentative in confidence, and through the years, I've been doing this technique now for about 21 years. Through the years, 22 years, I've grown in confidence, and you would hope so, right? So much of it is just getting this technique down so that it's second nature. You don't have to think about it. It just is there. And as you do this, now you also have to practice. You know, I'm a little out of shape vocally right now, and I need to jump back in. I haven't done a show for a few months, and when I don't do a show, I'm not a great practicer. But I have a couple shows next year I want to audition for, and so I want to jump back in, get my voice up to tip-top shape, and just like physical exercise, I want to stay. I want to work to stay in condition. So that helps a great deal also for confidence. So practicing, really nailing down, memorizing your words, memorizing the music, and rehearsing it over and over again. And when I do that, and when I'm in a show, I do the whole show every day. I go through my lines and I go through my songs, and then I do the show, and I warm up. And I've rehearsed for a couple of months, in preparation for it. So I memorize the words. I use mnemonic devices to help memorize, so that in case my mind starts to wander, I've got something that I can fall back on quickly, get a mental image, a picture of the lyrics. I spend a lot of time on that because I've had lapses right on stage, and I don't like to do that. So I really prepare, and so I go on confidently. Messi says I can go to G2 right now. Oh, good. Strat Cat Blue, also when the vocal folds are relaxed and no movement from the outer laryngeal muscles. You go Chuck Woo Wilson. What is the impact relationship of instruments? What is the impact relationship of instruments in writing music? Well, you can do it with. So, if you want to have a melody, it's nice to be able to say, wow, I like that. I'm going to write that down. So if you might want to write down G, F sharp, da da, D, E, F sharp, G, and write that on a piece of paper. And if you've learned an instrument, you can write those things in. Or you can say, well, that's in the key of G. But maybe you say, well, that's kind of too high. What should I do now? Well, let's lower the key. Well, what key is it in? If you know the keyboard, you'd be able to say, oh, well, that's in the key of E major. So those are things that become it helps you in so many different ways. Okay. Where am I here? Strat Cat, great presentation on lip rolls. Hey, thanks. Okay, Messi makes a comment. Allows you to set up the songs you wrote and try different things to find out how you want the song to sound. So basically, the more instruments you can play, it's always an upside. Agreed. Yeah. And writing music. What about breath control throughout the exercises? Jared, I think that's like fourth on your list of things you need to be too worried about. If you're, most of us don't have a problem breathing when we talk. And so, I'm not always trying to get my breath when I'm speaking. It really should be about the same when you're singing. Just, if the vocal cords are working appropriately or not reaching and so forth, you should be able to get those exercises in pretty well. But fundamentally, to save everybody time, go to powersing.com, watch episode 15 and 16. Wait a minute. Or is that vibrato? I might have told you the wrong thing. Search breathing. There's a little search glass on my home screen on the far right. Search breathing, and there's a couple videos there that can go into detail on on the diaphragmatic breathing and how that helps. So we're getting several questions on breathing. Maybe I do that on a later program. Chuck, when I sing in a light-head voice and lean into it, it goes in a twangy voice instead of a full mixed voice. What should I do? Stop it. True dat. Look, that's probably something I would need to work with you on and see what you're doing exactly. I don't know what you mean by twangy. I don't know exactly what you mean by full mixed voice. My question would be, are you really in mix? Or are you in pulled up chest? So I'd have to hear it. Messi said, I would recommend everyone to try and start to train at least 10 to 15 minutes each day. Everything is better. Anything's better than nothing. Yeah. Is it normal that my lowest note is C3? Everyone else I know can go lower. A lot of tenors can. That's the bottom for a tenor. Our director sends us to a piano recording of the notes of songs to practice at home. By the time we get to rehearsal, we can each reach higher notes. We can reach the higher notes. Interesting. Stratcat. The vocal twang is higher larynx, much like the witchy neigh sound you were just demonstrating. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why they call it vocal twang. Why is that? Stratcat, do you know why they call it vocal twang? When I think of twang, I kind of think of where, oh, where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? That's what I think of twang. George says, our director, let me see, no, Stratcat, well done. Okay. Twang is signature texture country singer staff. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, Jared. But that doesn't, I don't know why you would use that in an exercise exactly. But anyway, Auntie Toivola, how long it took when you started to notice improvements? You know what, Auntie, I noticed it instantly. Because the first exercise and I was at a seminar with Seth Riggs. What time is it? 8. Okay. When I was in a seminar with Seth Riggs, he had us all stand up and do. So I knew right away something was up. I'd never vocalized that high, and I knew I didn't crack, and I knew I wasn't straining, and I was like astounded. So I knew something had just happened I'd never experienced before. That was in the first, I can't remember how, 10 minutes, So for me personally, I started taking lessons. And I noticed improvements every single time, pretty much, as far as getting like through that break area, through the bridge, and getting up into head voice and so forth. I didn't have vibrato, so I couldn't do vibrato. So I learned that eventually. It was like, I don't know, a couple months later, I learned vibrato. But the first time I did a solo in front of people was probably about 4 or 5 months into it for me. Now, that was just my confidence level. And then I auditioned for a show, my first show, about in April or May. So it would have been like 6 months. I got up the courage, the confidence to go audition for a play. And so that's kind of my timetable. But I think really you start making progress pretty rapidly. You notice a big difference. And I would say within 6 weeks, you should start to really be experiencing some different things. To be able to apply it in a song depends on how hard the song is and so forth, but that can take some time. And so for me, I learned to sing Maria from West Side Story and performed it at an audition in about 6 months. But that doesn't mean that's going to take you that long. Mr. Shaw, hi, sir. Thank you for the great lessons. Thank you. Mr. Shaw, I appreciate it. So, hee-haw. Yeah, Mike. There's only a few of us that really know what that means. Okay, so the there's a couple, let me just give you a couple tips here. Number one, always stay connected. Don't let the voice break in the falsetto, because that's defeating the purpose. So you want to keep that thing connected. So you either got to go really witchy or really dopey. We haven't spent too much time on the dopey sound today. It's a little bit, I think it's a little bit, sorry, a little more difficult. But it's that's another way to connect it, to sing a note higher than you ever thought you could. High G. So, you know, what these things are doing are just helping you connect. And then once you connect that tone so it's not going into falsetto, then you discontinue these exaggerated things and get it back to normal, because we know we can do it. Now we just, you know, we work on exercises that keep the larynx level, off, you know, at level where you're speaking. That would be at level. Hope that makes sense. Mr. Shaw, so I get tired after singing 4 or 5 songs. I mean, after 10 or 15 minutes of singing, it's hard to apply notes. Please tell me any technique. Well, Mr. Shaw, I would have to hear what you're doing. If you're in shape, if you're vocally in shape, and the voice is strong, and you're getting that tiredness, it's likely that you're pulling chest too high, and the larynx is riding too high. That's probably what it is if you're in vocally pretty good shape. Now, if you're new to singing, that might just be you just need to do the exercises and practice a little bit more, and build up your vocal stamina. Let me see. I would recommend that you go out, Chuck. I would recommend you go out and check out Toxicity by System of a Down by System of a Down. That is a song that showcases belting greatly when done well. Serge Tankian is a great singer. Okay, thanks for the recommendation. Okay, so let me just revisit. I think somebody talked about, somebody asked about how do you balance vibrato. And there is a video online that I give 5 ways to do vibrato. So if the vibrato is too slow, that's a wobble. It's called a wobble, and that usually is due to being too much of pulled chest, too much of or too high of a larynx, and just too much wear and tear on the voice. So it usually is because of straining, reaching, grabbing, squeezing the voice too much for too long, and the voice begins to wobble. The other one is a where it's going too fast. I have a hard time demonstrating it, but it's called a tremolo. I can't. Again, if you go and search vibrato on my website, on the front page, on the right-hand side, you can find a little hourglass, search vibrato, and it will demonstrate. There's a couple of them couple videos, and it will explain those 2 kinds of tremolo, which is not optimal, and a wobble, which is too long, too wide. So balancing the voice is number 1, and balancing the voice meaning that you learn to go through the bridge without any tension or reach. That's how you get to it. That's how you get to this balanced voice. And once you're able to do that, then you start working. You start working on the vibrato technique itself, and you can find that again at powertosing.com, and in the right-hand side is the little hourglass search thing. So I keep referring to getting to the bridge, and vocal types. Hopefully you know your vocal type. If you don't know your vocal type, go into the description down below the video, and there's a PDF. All the links are there. It'll take you right to the vocal test. It'll take you a link to all 4 vocal types: full chest, high larynx, light chest, no chest, flip, falsetto, mix. It will take you to free exercises you can download, and it'll save you an hour, I don't know, 30 minutes, save you 15 minutes. Just download that PDF, and there's all the links there that take you to get your vocal type and all the videos and exercises about your vocal type. Because this is what is going to help you, even with vibrato, because it will help balance your voice. It will teach you to get through the bridge in a balanced fashion, with the larynx down and low, resting, and with the vocal cords together, without reaching, squeezing, and so forth. And that's that's going to help you in every part of singing. Okay. When do you have your next live chat? I do it every week at this hour. So starting at the top of this hour, usually we run 30, 45 minutes or so, and we're at 47 minutes now. So better call it. We got students coming this afternoon. So thank you guys and gals. I appreciate your great conversations, great question and answer today. Thanks for your participation. I don't think I'm gonna end by saying, when you're doing these exercises, keep the vocal cords connected. Do them as I've demonstrated. Sing softer than you think you should. Just soft. It's got to be loud enough to keep the chord structure, the tone connected. You don't want to disconnect, but sing a little bit softer. It's easier, and it's going to help you. And then that's going to give you the confidence to help you be able to sing these exercises these high exercises that you didn't think you could. You're going to find out you can. So hopefully that's helpful. Thank you. Thanks for the great day today. And hey, Frederick Intilis from Italy. Awesome, Frederick. Nice to have you here. Thanks, everybody. This is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. Remember, you can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video.